Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of my course vlogs, and this time we're out here at the beautiful Morongo Tukwet Canyon Golf Club, and this is the Champions course we're playing this time, and you've tuned in to the front nine. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please click the link down below to subscribe. I'd love to have you back here week after week for some more golf, and we'll head out there the first hole. Here we go. Now today, like normal, we're going to be playing all the way back. The Gold Tees today are playing 7,377 yards. A very, very long, hilly golf course is in front of us, but luckily, just like here on the first hole, most of the fairways are very wide and inviting, allowing you to miss it a little bit left or right off the tee, and just is going to be testing you coming into the greens, as here on the first, we're climbing dramatically up the hill. About a good 10-yard adjustment up to this green from the fairway, and you're not going to be having a level lie anywhere in the fairway. Now we're teeing off first in the morning. It is really cold out here in the wintertime. Beanies and hoodies are an absolute necessity for us out here in California. Right here on the edge of the desert, it was probably 40 degrees here in the morning. A crisp and cool morning. Just need to make sure you're warmed up and ready to go. And you can hit one in tight to 5 feet and miss the birdie putt. Oh boy. Is this going to be the story of the vlog? We're going to have to see. 216 yards of a par 3. Number 2 here is going to be heading straight down the hill. And it's the number 17 handicap because it's really the only par 3 green you can see. Every other one is just really, really dramatic and difficult. Ultimately, with the front pin and adjusted for the hill, this is only going to be playing 190 yards. That should be a flush 7-iron for me, but I just didn't quite get around on this one and pushed it out to the right, gobbled up by the greenside bunker. And these greenside bunkers are raked perfectly, but there's little stones and rocks in them, and sometimes they are very firm underneath. Make sure you get a great lie under it, and I just scooped that one a little bit thin off to the back of the green. A very long lag putt here, down to 3 feet, tapping it in for bogey. It's the first bogey of the day, dropping to 1 over par. That's all right. We have a couple gettable holes here in a row in 3 and 4. First, it's a shorter par 4, one of only a few that are under 400 yards from the tips. This one's going to be all about precision off the tee and into the green. Choose your line left of that big tee off the fairway, and you're going to be running out at about 275 through the fairway. Hopefully a short wedge will allow you to be very precise into this hole location, as the green is dramatically sloped from back to front. Just turning over a 3-wood here off the tee, and that was still too much club, as it still went through the fairway and into the rough on the right-hand side of the hole. And I'm going to have to loft up my sand wedge high and over the tip of the bunker. Luckily, I was just able to get enough spin on it to land here softly on the green. The greens were rolling perfectly, though. Just perfectly enough that if you catch those edges with too much speed, they will fly on off. A comfy tap-in par, and we're heading on to the first par 5 of the day. This is an awesome hole, giving you choices all the way through. First things first, that bunker off the tee is going to make you choose left or right. If you have enough carry, you can get it down to this left-hand fairway, giving yourself a great view into the green. Now, if you're right of the wash in the middle of the fairway, it's no big deal. You just got to lay up right to where the cart path cuts across the fairway and leave yourself a simple wedge into the green. Anywhere down in that wash or bank is very playable of a lie. And as we come into the green, though, it does tighten up dramatically, really forcing you to be precise on your approach. Now, I tried to get this drive to turn over just like that 3-wood on the last hole, but ultimately it went pretty much stick straight and kind of through the fairway and down in that wash that I talked about. It is all grassed down in here, so you could catch a good lie. And at 300 yards, there's no way I was going for this flag. A completely blind shot there. It was just a 5-iron to choose a nice distance to lay up with, and I was just a little bit closer than I like to be. I really like 65 to 70 yards, and what do you know, I hit it about 70 yards, just long of the green here. Now we're working to get up and down for par. As you can see, those greens are rolling fantastic. The ball does roll out on a lot of your chip shots. I just couldn't quite get that 20-foot par putt to drop. It's another bogey, and a bogey on a par 5. That is not ideal, not what I'm looking to see out here today. The 5th hole is a little bit of a break versus what we've seen. It's a nice, flat, straight in front of you par 4, playing a very reasonable 400 yards from the tips. Hopefully these two bunkers we're flying over don't play a part of your drive, just send it right on over and down into the fairway. Now there's that cluster of bunkers short right of the green, but the fairway does pitch forward towards the green if you're short. Now, for some reason, I kept trying to play that turnover draw, and this one, another one, just went stick straight directly down the right-hand side of the hole and hung up here in the rough. And needless to say, I chunked it right into the bunker. So now we got to get up and down for par again. But luckily, I was able to flush this bunker shot right next to the hole. Good. Just another comfy tap-in par. And we're heading on to the back-to-back par 4s, the most difficult holes here on the front 9. You're going to be tested for about a half an hour straight, and you're going to have to execute on every single shot. 441 heading back up the hill. This is a solid 465 to 470 adjusted. The bunker on the left is reachable and 100% in play with my driver off the tee. I have a choice of laying back with a 3-wood and taking longer into the green, or challenging the bunker and having a shorter approach. More deep bunkers protect this green, but hopefully with this center hole location, they won't come into play. Now, I still felt like I can turn that draw over, and I finally got one to slightly turn over and head right down Main Street. Just next to that fairway bunker, a full 160 up to this middle flag. That's a full 9-iron for me, heading right back into that rising sun. We are pin high, center of the green. There's no way I was taking this hole location on. Just got to feed this putt down off this big ridge off the back of the green. My partner there tried to give it to me, but we like to tap them in. Just another par on a very difficult par 4, and we're heading to the hardest hole on the front 9. Number 7 here is another one heading right back up the hill. 468 adjusted. We're nearly 500 yards heading up this hill. Now we're going to be cruising on around to the right. This has got a little bit bigger landing area than it looks off the tee, especially off to the right-hand side. It does widen out quite a bit. Now it's going to narrow up though as we get to the green, and all the trouble is protecting this very elevated green. It's even elevated from the chipping areas all around it. A solid 15-yard adjustment from down in the fairway, and then we're playing to a pin that's all the way in the back. Yeah, another one that we just ripped right down the middle, a little bit leak off the right-hand side, and it's in the rough, but it's another 167 back to this hole location, and I didn't feel comfortable taking one more club and going with the 8. Just had to play another one to the center of the green and just take my par. You really can't go for some of these hole locations. They're just too tucked away on these greens. And you just got to trust your flat stick that you can tap it on down there to 3 feet and have comfortable par after comfortable par. Now the 8th hole, the second par 3 on the front 9, it's going to be playing right next to the second hole, so you're going to get a good preview of it earlier in the day. This one's heading back up the hill to a very dramatically sloped green. With this hole location in the front section of this green, I was trying to ensure I got past the hole location. But if you went too far, you were up here on the top slope. A very, very quick putt coming all the way down. I hit this about 2 feet in front of me and just let it go. But it's on down to another 2-footer for another comfy tap-in par as we head on down to a nice closing par 5 on this front 9. 550 yards in total, but it's going to play downhill off the tee and uphill back into the green. Now off the tee, it is a nice wide driving area just like the rest of the golf course, but there's just a couple bunkers down here that you're going to have to play with, and those will come into play for me from the tips. I'm going to have to thread the needle right through the sand. Now, as we approach the green, there's not too much trouble to deal with until we get really close up there, about 60 yards short. All of these bunkers serve as protection to the green, but the one on the far right is a great target for your layup. Make sure you're just about 20 yards short of that, and you've got a nice 100 yards into the center of this green. A little bit more mild as compared to most of them out here. I was able to get another drive ripped right down Main Street, reared back, and really wanted to get all of this one. 245 yards all the way back to the back hole location. I was playing for the front of the green here, about 230 to 235 carry with this 4-iron, and it was mission accomplished. It was right there on the front. I don't have a 3-iron in my bag, so I don't have that extra 15 to 20 yards to really play with. And it just doesn't make sense sometimes to try to finesse a 2-iron. Hey, thanks for joining me for the front 9. We'll see you next week for the back. Later.